Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. If you go to usa.canon.com, at the very top, you're going to see a search bar, and all you need to do is type in the model that you're looking for. So we're going to search for the Pro 2100. And when it brings up your printer, you'll just click on your model. From there, you will just scroll down. So a little bit of scrolling here. Scroll, come on, come on. Does not play well with others today. Let's see. There we go. You're going to scroll down until you see software and drivers. When I click on software and drivers, it's going to bring me to a point where I get to tell it which software or operating system I'm using. Most of the time, especially with PCs, with Windows, it's actually going to detect it. With Macs, it will detect that it's a Mac, but it's going to require me to go over and click on the one that I'm using. So I'm going to click on Monterey. And from there, you'll see all the various software options that you would just click on to download. And if you don't see the one you're looking for, you can hit load more and it will actually add the rest there. So it's literally that easy to actually just click and download your software and then just follow the install wizard on your back side of things to make sure that everything's following through. We do recommend checking, pretty regularly just to make sure that you're running the latest versions of all of our software. We do routinely update all of our software to make sure bugs are fixed or add new features and things like that. And we'll be talking about some of those new features today. So from there, we're going to jump into first PosterArtist and PosterArtist Online with Dave. So I will give up my screen sharing and hand it over to Dave Rice.
Canon has had PosterArtist around since really the very beginnings of the Canon product line. It's a very popular application. It's simplistic in operation. But with everything moving online, Canon has made quite an investment in developing an online version of PosterArtist. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to that. And it's basically PosterArtist.canon is basically the website for you to go to. You can sign in. The sign-in page, unfortunately, I'm always signed in, so it automatically will recognize me. But when you sign in, you can use existing accounts like Facebook and Google, those types of, just to make the sign-in process very, very simple for yourself. Or you can actually create your own account. And really, the purpose of kind of creating those accounts in looking at the home pages, we've got a bunch of pre-done templates that you can work off of. So if you wanted to do, for example, a photo collage, or you wanted to simply create a poster or a banner, we've got pre-done templates that are available to you. And as you move on down through the page, you can actually see some of those templates. So if you're a retail operation and you wanted to do a banner, in this case, this banner is designed, not banner, but this poster is designed to kind of talk about recyclable bags. We've also got health and safety. We've got business. We've got sales. We've got food and beverage. And here's a bunch of the specific ones I've opened in the past, for schools and education. A lot of times I'll use these for our church. I'll grab something and out of these to choose from, and I'll use that for like a Sunday school, because we've got our vacation Bible school, those types of things. So I'll use some of the education templates, and we've got a lot of simple templates that are kind of out here where you can add some little text and drop in an image. Bulletins. As you can see, there is a ton of different festivals, parties. Everything, again, is all online. As Canon is adding more and more templates, you can go ahead and continue to use those. Sports, hobbies, public awareness. It just keeps going on and on and on. In today's day and age, my kids, whenever they're going out to have a party or a baby shower, they're going out and finding something online, they're creating it. Now Canon has now offered a tool for you to quickly and easily grab a poster and modify that quickly. So let's just do something rather simple. I'm going to grab this happy birthday. And I can click on that happy birthday, and it brings up a quick poster. And again, we are online, and I'm kind of broadcasting, so there's a little bit of extra bandwidth that's happening, but it brings up this happy birthday poster. So now you can go in and physically edit this poster. Everything you want to do is all right here on your left side. So if you want to come down and change your background, you've got different backgrounds you can use. This has kind of got some stars with music. I could go to a background here and click that and change that background out. Maybe go to kind of a green background. So you've got a lot of different backgrounds for you to choose from. And what's nice is you can also bring in your own background if you chose to. You can also go in and add a QR code. So let's say, for example, if this were like a wedding invitation, and with today's weddings, typically there'll be like a home page, and you can actually go in and create a QR code where someone can just type in the web address or copy and paste the web address and add a quick QR code right to the page. You can also go in and modify the text. You can add text, you can modify text. And if you have one of our GP series printers, we also have fluorescent color palette, which is kind of nice to choose from. These bright pinks and oranges and golds and silvers are nice colors to be able to add to your posters, which is something we have not been able to do in the past. And all you have to do is, again, just modify and edit these posters quickly and easily. The other thing you can do is, like, for example, I've got this, pink balloon. I can kind of go with a fluorescent pink color. So now I've selected that off the fluorescent pink color palette. And so that way I can now add this new level of pop to some of these colors. So each one of these elements are something you can kind of change individually to kind of personalize it for the specific colors you want to have. So when you come on down here to your shapes, this would be if you're looking at doing lines, rectangles, circles, and just dropping those circles in and creating a quick and easy poster. It's important to notate is as you click on, for example, with the QR codes or my text, everything will also kind of show up as I click into that area. Right here on your right, you can actually set your font type. Everything, it's kind of a dual side, which is something I really like about the online version. With the full version, or the PosterArtist version, which I'm going to show you in a second here, it's working all off of one side. So having the ability to work on two sides of the screen when I'm editing these documents is really quite nice. So I can kind of go in and change out my fonts, modify this, just kind of stretch that on over to help bring that in, and there you go. So just to make the quick edits I want. And when you take a look here, for example, with this ellipse, the circle, I'll click on that circle, and I can kind of go to my shapes, and this is where I can actually go in and set the colors for my shape. So I can make that a black background, or I can go to a bright pink for my background color, that fluorescent pink, or even use like this gold setting, which is really quite nice. So or even possibly the silver setting. So you've got some really unique capabilities with the online version to quickly and easily be able to edit some of these colors and add some simple text. So PosterArtist Online is, again, free for anybody with a Canon image prograph printer. There is no cost to using this. And if you want to go back really to your home page, you can just click on the home page and brings you right back. And you can actually save files. You can open those files right here, the creation of calendars, really anything that you want to create. Canon has really simplified that process for you to create posters, save those online, and then share that if you want to save it as a JPEG and let someone take a look at your proof. And you can kind of email that over to someone and say, how does this look? So this is really the online version of PosterArtist. I think anyone that's in the field, I really encourage you to go to this website, play around with it. We'll send you this link If I don't know if I can put it in the chat. This is kind of my first time using this, and we'll provide you with this link so you can have that. But it's as simple as PosterArtist.canon to go to this web page. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump. Go ahead.
Real quick, can you touch on the image galleries, the royalty-free photos?
Yeah, I'm going to do that in two different places. I'm going to go ahead and jump in here
Okay.
as well. So one of the things that both softwares offer, and I'll kind of start with that, is under the photos. We've got built-in photos, and this is going to be true of both applications. We've got built-in photos. We've also got, for example, image search. So under the image search, we have 3 different web services that are built into this software: Pixabay, Unsplash, and Pexels. And literally it gives you, for example, over 1 million images. So, since I mentioned this, we have Vacation Bible School that's coming up with our church, that's coming up this summer. So we had our first meeting this past Sunday. So if I wanted to find, like, for example, like a child praying, if we want to do kind of something for a background, I can do child or kid praying. You can go ahead and just hit that search, and there you go. You've got tons of images from all these different services for you to pick from. So I can go ahead and grab one of those images, go ahead and drop that in. I can take a look at these and do kind of a preview. I've got multiple pages of images with Unsplash. So it really makes it nice for you to go ahead and find images that are royalty free, that are high resolution, that I can go ahead and add. So for example, if I were to set this up as kind of a landscape page, and in this case, I'm going to make this like an 18 by 24. So let's say I'm going to do like a yard sign for this. And then I can go back to those photos, and I can go ahead and drop in a photograph that's really kind of a landscape image. We'll go to an additional page here, and we'll just grab this kid right here. And I can go ahead and just drop this in, and I can make it my background. I can really do anything I want with this specific image. I can make, for example, a lot of times what I'll do, even with some of these images, let's say that I wanted this to be a specific size. So I could say size and position, and I can make this an 8 by 10. And I know this is going to change the aspect ratio of that, but that's okay, because what I can do is I can go back in and I can just double click that image and it brings it in again with the correct aspect ratio. Then I can just go ahead and go to my trim option, and I can see how that would look for my trim. So let's say that I wanted to kind of zoom in just like that for my image, just that quick and easy. I'm able to set my 8 by 10 up with this young boy here who's kind of have a little fun, it looks like. So, and that would be even true with, even if I were to bring in this image, I can double click that image. We've got a little girl with a hula hoop, and again, trim that out. And I could move this on over and move that up a little bit just to crop specifically to her and close that out. So it really makes it nice and easy, and it works exactly the same way with both the online version as well as this version of the software. And having the ability to have so many images from several different web services is really just a really nice thing to have when you're in a situation and you want to find high-res images that are relevant content that we run into all the time when we're doing our poster creation. So it's a really nice feature, and the fact that Canon has that built into the software really simplifies that process for the end user. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to go ahead and, since I've got an 18 by 24, I can stick with that size, or in this case, I'll go to a bigger poster size, and I'm going to select a 24 by 36. And I'm going to actually work with some of my images and show you some of the capabilities of this software. So everything I'm showing you here can also be done with the online version. So the first thing I'm going to do is, again, I've got the 4 easy steps. I can grab an existing template, and I like this view all like you have with the other software, where you can actually go in and view all the different templates. What's nice is when you load this software for the first time, you're going to see over 2,000 templates for you to choose from. Those templates are all online. You can choose to download them and have them locally onto your computer. And so that's what I have done. So I've got them local so I can go to my different categories. I can actually go in and grab any one of these categories and bring that image in and start editing from that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work with an image right from the get-go. And I'm going to say insert, add from file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, this is kind of my education folder. I'm going to grab just another image. I'm going to grab this kayaker here. So, Pete's a professional photographer, but, he has nothing on me here. So I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to go to my size and position. I can go ahead and set the size and position like I showed you before, or I can do, make it really easy for myself to say, just fit this to background. And just that quick and easy, it locks it in. If you look here at the top, you've got your lock key there. It's locked that image in. I can't move this. I can't edit it at all right now. It just keeps it right to that size. I still have the trim capabilities where I can trim this down. This is almost an unfair image because it fits perfectly 24 by 36. So if you see here, since it fits so perfectly, I'm gonna leave it that way. But one of the things I want to show you here is some of our editing capabilities. Probably many of you on the call are very familiar with Photoshop, and one of the things you got to remember is Canon is a camera company, right? And so there's a lot of tools that we build for photographers to be able to quickly and easily edit images for free. And some of that technology has been put into this software. So for example, when this photo was shot, was probably set with auto exposure. And as you can see, you've got this bright sun hitting the water, and it brought back a lot of light into the sensor, so his face is kind of dark here. I can do kind of a backlight correction. And all I'm really doing is, moving the slider to go ahead and edit that backlighting. So I'll just make, kind of a subtle change to it and say, okay. And just that quick and easy, as you can see, it made a really big difference in being able to see his face much, much more clearly. I'm such an amazing photographer. I'm really not, but I'm going to make myself look really good here in a second. I'm going to say insert. I'm going to add from file, and I'm going to go ahead and grab another image. I'm going to grab this eagle, for example, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this eagle image in. And this eagle image, he was flying in the background behind this kayaker. So I'm going to go ahead and retouch this image. And I can do a cutout, and I can go ahead and drop out the background, or I can kind of manually say, I want to get rid of the sky. And I can just go ahead and drop out the sky, as you can see, just that quick and easy. A little bit between the feathers, and a little more between the feathers there. And I can say, okay, if I want to bring a little more detail out, and I can do kind of an auto color correction. And it will basically make a quick adjustment to that. If I want to bring a little more detail, maybe even out in the feathers, I can go ahead and do a backlight color correction and just bring out a little more detail in those feathers if I want to. And there we go. Lighten it up. Now I'm good to go. I like the way that looks. Say okay. I'll hit my shift key just like we do with any other program. I did not hit the shift key properly. Hit the shift key. I'll just bring it on over here. I will click away, maybe make him a little bit smaller. Click away, and you would think that this eagle was flying behind him when this photo was taken. So having the ability to do some nice simple editing is really kind of a nice feature with both PosterArtist and PosterArtist Online. And the best part about it is you can again grab some of those nice high-res images, and Canon does provide also, as part of the software, a whole bunch of different photos that we offer by different categories, flowers and just a bunch of different stuff. We also offer clip art available for you. One of the things I've noticed that with the online version, I've seen more clip art available for the online version than actually the full version. I think it just makes it easier for them, Canon, to add more templates and more clip art much more quickly and make them available to you. So I see us kind of moving in that direction. I really like what we've done with the online version. It's very simple to use. I do enjoy using this version as well. We have a lot of people that use us from time to time to create quick and easy posters. And the nice part too is if I want to go ahead and add my signature, I could add my signature to this, do that as kind of a cutout, you know, put pricing information that this was a poster I was selling, you know, quickly and easily. So just to kind of conclude here, with PosterArtist, again, it's 4 quick and easy steps. The first step is going and selecting a template or just, you know, creating your own from scratch. And so you've got, again, lots of templates to select from. You've got multiple views to select these templates. Again, my favorite view is this view where I can see everything at a quick glance and I can see my different categories quickly and easily. And you can change, you know, kind of the view of how these are looked at. All right, that's my first. And then when you come here to your paper size, one of my favorite features about PosterArtist is setting up custom size papers. So for example, I can go in and I can set a page size from basically 3.94 inches, we'll just call that 4 inches, all the way to 708 inches. So if I've got something I need to print, being able to set up a custom page size that easily is very simple to do. And again, you know, I've never really set anything up for 4 inches, but I have done a lot of stuff for like maybe a little banner I'm doing that's, you know, maybe 3 feet by 160 inches. You know, you can quickly and easily set that up right here. That's one of my favorite features about the software. And just, you know, selecting your printer type, you know, what type of paper. The last time I was using this, I was actually using a Hahnemuhle Agave 290 GSM media and my paper width. And one of the things you can do is you can actually edit with Canon Free Layout Plus, and that's one of the softwares I'm going to show you here in just a second. And you can actually send this to another printer. And then you've got your photos, your clip art, your text, all the things you can kind of edit, your shapes and your backgrounds. And one of the things I should probably be remiss if I didn't talk about this, because this will, I guess I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag. I'll just let it out. We are going to be offering variable data printing even for the online version very, very soon. And so what I'd like to show you here is I'm going to kind of create a new poster, and I'm going to do something. You know, my wife is a school teacher, and so she uses this all the time, and it can be used in so many different ways. So I'm going to set this up as a letter size paper, right? And you could do this for postcards. We've done this for postcards. And I'm going to go ahead and just simply drop in an image from file. And in this case, I will go to kind of my education folder. And I'm going to grab just this kindergarten award certificate, right? Just a little diploma. And again, I can fit the background, which I just showed you, or I can say my size and position is 8.5 by 11. And I would set this up as, you know, starting at 0 and starting at 0. And there you go. Now I've got my kindergarten diploma. I will lock that in place. And now what I'll do is I just need a little bit of text. So I'll just add 1 character. I don't need a bunch of characters. I'll do kind of we'll just make it an @ sign, right? It's kind of a big font. I'm not a big fan of Arial for certificates, so I'll find something a little bit nicer. Maybe more of a script font. I don't know, let's find something. I know I'm spending too much time and worrying about a font. We'll do this. Kind of a really bold font. I'll shrink that down just a little bit. And now all I'm really going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and go to my variable data printing. I'm going to connect to a database. And I've got a bunch of databases, as you can see. I'm just going to do my Awards Night 2022. And when I connect to that, I'll actually go to the person's name. There I am, David Rice, right? And I know I've got Pete in here. And so what I want to find is I want to filter my records and find the person with the longest name. In this case, I know it's Ed Lamana, so I can clear all. I'm not going to do clear all. I'm just going to go to Ed Lamana. I'll just go to his. His is pretty close. There it is. There's Ed Lamana. And this is a little bit cheating. I'll just bring that on over. Bring that on over. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. I like the way that looks. I'll set it right here, right on the line, and I am done. Just that quick and easy. So the only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to say copy and Control V paste. So I want to use the same aspect ratio. So I'll just say June 11th, 23. And I'll just hold my shift key down so it keeps the same aspect ratio. There we go, and just drop that date down here. I'm done. And to make my life easy as the person doing this, I'll say insert add from file. I will go ahead and grab a signature. I think I've got a made up signature. There we go. And I'll drop in the signature. The problem is I signed this on a white piece of paper and I scanned it on the copier. And I used a blue pen. I can retouch this image and, you know, I can do my cutout and I can just say auto, just drop out the background. You notice inside the D though, we've got a little bit of white space. So I can just say manually drop that out like we did before. Say okay. Now I'm not a fan of blue. I want to kind of change that to a black if I want to. I don't like the way that blue looks. It's pretty close to that blue. I'm going to retouch this. And I can actually go in and change my logo color. So it sees there's white and blue on the page. And now I can go ahead and do some quick editing, just that quick and easy to those colors. I can make it a little more green. In this case, I just want to go to black. So I can pop up all the colors, make it black, and I am done. And so all I'm really going to do is hold the shift key down once again, make it a little bit smaller, drop that signature right there. So now when I go back to my variable data and I want to print these award certificates or yard signs, I can go through and print each one of these out perfectly each and every single time. So you can, you know, simply, you know, create one award certificate. The next time I go to do these, I'll just save this out. I just got to change the date. I got to find the kid with the longest name and I'm ready to go. And I do this, you know, for even much more complicated yard signs. I'll just bring one up just so you can kind of see here. I'll grab, here's a yard sign. And this was, a simple yard sign. I've done it for golf outings. So, you know, you kind of create the different holes, who the sponsors would be, that type of thing. It really makes it nice and simple. This has got a lot of different images. But in this case, you know, I got the kid's last name, the number changes, their first name, you know, who the what their position is. You know, I added Woody Hayes' signature to the football, but you know, each one of these would easily change, and I can again connect to that same players database right here, and all I'm doing is going in again, setting last name, setting the number in my database, which is nothing more than a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet as you saw, and then the position. And then I can just go to each one of them. There I am, Rice guard number 99. And each one of these changes just that quick and easy for each position. So, you know, again, just dropped in the logo, did it as a cutout. Really simple to use this software. Again, this will be available, the variable data version, very soon for PosterArtist Online as well. Coming very, very soon. All right, any questions in the chat before I move on? Now, what's nice,
Dave, I do have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So first one that I wanted to ask is, can you print from, yes, one about the designs and the images that you're getting, you know, the free stock images.
Yes.
Can those images just be used for, is it just personal use? Can it be used for commercial purposes? How does that work?
Yeah. So if you know, again, you're not selling it, right? So these are designed for any company to be able to print. I use them all the time for print samples, providing those. I'm not selling my samples. So I would imagine all that should be fine. You know, I don't work for our legal division, so I don't want to say I'm you know, but I think as a general rule, right, you can, these are available to you. They are free. They're here for you to do posters. I don't need a release to, you know, of a child for these. I mean, these all releases and all that stuff is done. That's the best part about it, right? You know, for me as working for Canon, anything I kind of create, I got to be very, very careful with. So especially because we work with professional photographers all over the world. We never want to use their content without their permission. We don't need anybody's permission to use this content.
Okay. So yes, personal and commercial then?
I would say yes. Yeah. Well, I use it commercially for Canon. So.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Yeah, just a caveat, Sean, the images, you can't download or save the images separately. They're only used within the software itself. So there's no way to like save them out separately. So they can only really be used within the designs of the software. So, you know, if you're creating a poster that you're distributing the poster as something that you've done, then that's part of the licensing that you're okay doing. It's when you're distributing the image and selling the image as yours that you start getting into issues. But if it's as a piece of a poster or a banner or sign you've done, you're fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.